Lions back with the Tigers. Velasco bringing it down. And poked away by Morgan. Francis now for the Trojans. Ball played in over the top. Henderson giving chase. Peregrina off his line. And Peregrina clears it away. Ratchford now off his line to collect. Safely into the hands of the senior goalkeeper, Ronan Ratchford, and an opportunity for Morgan to boot this one away. Ratchford. Velasco there with the header. Lines up Jensen, who plays it out wide to Gladwell. Gladwell plays it back to the near sideline for Aradema. Francis winning it back for the Trojans. Looking for support. Plays it back to Wyrick. Wyrick will put this one over the top. Headed away by Wilson. Lands back at Wyrick. Pokes it away. Gladwell there recovering for the Tigers. Here's Ogden on the attack with Esquivel. Has options. Plays it through to Rodriguez. Rodriguez into the box and Ratchford with the save. Booted away by the Trojans. And the first big opportunity of this one goes to the Tigers. Ronan Ratchford coming up with a huge save to keep this one at 0-0 early in the first half. Now the Trojans trying to go the other way. Esquivel winning it back. Esquivel taking it from distance and safely into the hands of Ronan Ratchford. Good start here by Ogden as Ratchford now having to come up big for his side. Ogden quickly back on the attack with Jensen. Jensen, he'll play it out wide to Gladwell. Gladwell inside the box. Has an opportunity to cross it in. Poked away by Zach Dredge. And that one will go out of bounds. And now a corner kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. Esquivel will take the corner. Only 3 players inside the box for the Ogden Tigers as Esquivel will whip it in. Set piece opportunity. Ball goes in near post, headed away by the Trojans. Esquivel giving chase. Recovers for Ogden. Brings it down. Esquivel crosses it in. Goes back post. The header, the shot, the rebound. Can't put it in. Ratchford again coming up for the Trojans. Cleared off the line and then booted out of bounds. Ogden with sustained pressure. Has another opportunity here. Corner kick coming up. Lip trap. He'll leave it for Rodriguez. And we'll have a stoppage in play as a shin guard came out. Jace Rodriguez to take the corner. Ball whipped in, goes back post, and it floats across the face of goal and out of bounds and out for the goal kick. A lot of good opportunities here for the Tigers in the early goings of this one. Ronan Ratchford, the goalkeeper for the Trojans, already having to come up and make some big saves in this first half. The Ogden Tigers, the undefeated defending 3A state champions, coming to this one 17-0 overall, 10-0 in Region 13 play. Finished at the top of Region 13, number 1 in the RPI, 79 goals scored on the season, 7 goals against. An 8-0 win against Emory in the second round of playoffs, a quarterfinal win against Judge Memorial 5-1, and then in the semifinal game on Thursday, it was an overtime game that had to be decided by a Francisco Rivas golden goal in overtime to put the Ogden Tigers back here at America First Field, looking for a chance to go back-to-back. For the Morgan Trojans, they come to this one 12-8 overall in the season, 7-3 in Region 13 play. Tied for second place in that region. Number 6 in the RPI, 62 goals scored on the season, 28 goals against. Here's Henderson with an opportunity, but the whistle and a foul called. Beat South Summit in the second round, 8-0. Got a quarterfinal win against Carbon, one that went all the way to the penalty shootout to be decided Morgan took it 4-1 in the shootout, and then a 1-0 win against Manti in the semifinal on Thursday. Zach Nielsen, the hero for the Trojans in that one. As Morgan, again, looking for their opportunity to win their first boys soccer state championship. Ogden back in possession. Browning will go all the way back to Peregrina. Xavier Peregrina, the senior goalkeeper for the Tigers, captain, and also having to come up and make some tremendous saves in that semifinal game against Ben Lomond. Matt Browning to throw it in for the Tigers over on that far sideline. Ball back in play. One back by the Trojans. Francis will bring it down. Goes to ground, nothing called there. The Trojans still on the attack with Henderson. Kinney taking a shot from distance. And it goes wide of the post and out for the goal kick. Players to watch for this afternoon for the Ogden Tigers. Number 17, Jace Rodriguez, 22 goals on the season, 7 assists. Number 15, Velasco with 18 goals and 21 assists for the Tigers. And number 10, Gerardo Esquivel with 16 goals and 10 assists for the Tigers. Those are the players to watch for the Ogden side. And then for the Trojans, number 11, Francis with 15 goals and 3 assists on the year. Connor White with 8 goals and 4 assists. Trace Henderson has that shot from distance safely into the hands of Ratchford. Henderson with 8 goals and 11 assists. The players to watch tonight, or I guess this morning, for the Morgan Trojans. Nielsen gets it to Kinney. Morgan in possession with Kinney. He'll leave it for Henderson. Henderson looking for options. Gets it back out to Connor White. White will flick it on to Kinney. Kinney crosses it back in towards the top of the 18. Francis was there, couldn't get on the end of it as Sudgen brings it in. Gets it to Nielsen. Velasco comes across with a defensive effort. Ball booted away by Liptrap. And now here giving chase is Cody Adams. Adams will let it roll all the way back to Ratchford. Ratchford goes near sideline for Adams. Adams plays it centrally to Nielsen. Nielsen near the middle of the park. Almost losing possession. Does a good job to keep it. Plays it back out wide to Cody Adams. Trying to play it up the sideline. Can't connect. And it goes out of bounds and out. A throw-in coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. Ball out of bounds once more, quickly taken here by the Tigers. Prior to, though, substitution for both sides. Gladwell coming off. And checking into the game is the goal scorer, the hero in the semifinal matchup as Francisco Rivas into the game. Coming off is the goal scorer for the Trojans, Zach Nielsen. And into the game, number 5, Cash Peterson. Ball back out of bounds and out. Another Ogden throw coming up here on the near sideline. Brought down by Esquivel. Defended well by Wyrick as Connor Wyrick comes across, pokes it away. And another throw-in coming up for the Ogden Tigers. Ardema to throw it in. Ball brought down by Jenks. Jenks goes to ground, one back by the Trojans, and now here comes Morgan. And quickly one back by Gabe Liptrap, who plays it to Jensen. Jensen goes out wide to Rivas. Rivas back in centrally for Jenks. To Velasco. Velasco to the near sideline for Ardema. Now Velasco tries to play one in over the top. And Wyrick will just see that one roll out of bounds and out for the Trojans' goal kick. 28 minutes left to go here in the first, all tied up at 0-0, but the Ogden Tigers, a couple of good, really good opportunities in the opening 10 minutes of this one. Ratchford coming up with some huge saves, and now the Trojans trying to get something on the attack going the other way with Henderson. Henderson pokes it through to White. White has a chance here to cross it in, goes back looking for support. Now a ball whipped in. Giving chase is Francis. And Ardema will boot this one away. Throw in coming up here for the Morgan Trojans on the near sideline. Cody Adams will throw it in. Adams. Ball played in. White will poke it through. Comes off of Wilson. Ball in. Henderson with the shot. And just gets a little bit too much under it as it goes over the bar and out. But a good opportunity there for the Trojans. Nice ball played in by Connor White. And Henderson just couldn't get it cleanly. Whistle on a foul call. This one will go against the Trojans. As a free kick coming up here for Ogden. An opportunity to boot this one away. See if they can create some more opportunities. Velasco, the captain, will take. Ball booted away by Velasco. Towards Esquivel. Nice touch to bring it down there by Esquivel. The cross comes in. Wyrick with the deflection. It goes out of bounds and out. A corner kick coming up for the Ogden Tigers. Rodriguez to take the corner for Ogden. Ball whipped in. Goes back post. Volleyed at the back post by Wilson. And it goes over the bar and out for the goal kick. Good opportunity off the corner by the Tigers. Ratchford to boot this one away. Comes back down to Esquivel, who leaves it for Liptrap, turns. Now plays it back to Esquivel. Ball booted away, takes a deflection. And the Trojans trying to clear this one away. Adams lets it bounce. Velasco coming in with the header. Velasco trying to bring it down as he goes down. The whistle and a foul will call. Free kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers in a dangerous spot. These two sides, being region rivals, know each other very well. Velasco crosses it in. That goes out of bounds and out for the goal kick. The Morgan Trojans and the Ogden Tigers already played each other twice this season. Ogden coming in victorious in both of those games. The first one was an overtime game that the Tigers won 2-1. And then the second meeting between these two sides, a 3-0 win for the Tigers. Ogden looking to make it 3 wins on the season over the Trojans to be able to hold up that trophy at the end of this one. But the Trojans have other ideas. Connor White battling out for possession. Connor White and Wilson get tangled up, and the foul will be called against Connor White. Free kick taken quickly by the Tigers back to Peregrina. And now Peregrina will boot this one up and away. Headed by Carson Taylor. Henderson gets around Browning. Browning recovers defensively, pokes it away. Henderson will let this one go out of bounds. A throw-in coming up for the Trojans over on the far sideline. Ball back in play here with Morgan. Connor White. Up the sideline. Nicely defended by Jenks. Finds Henderson. And Velasco comes across, makes the challenge. Still in possession is the Trojans as Sudgen plays it out wide to Wyrick over here to the near side. Falls to Henderson. Henderson gets this one away. Kinney with the deflection. Browning in possession for Ogden. Up towards Jensen. Ball goes out of bounds. A throw-in coming up here for the Trojans, trying to take it quickly, but a substitution here for Morgan. Off comes Kinney. And checking into the game will be Parker Groh. Peterson for the Trojans. Back to Henderson. Trace Henderson up the sideline. Ball through, looking for White. And that will go safely into the hands of Xavier Peregrina. And an opportunity here for for Ogden to hold on to some possession. Ball played centrally to Liptrap. Liptrap lets it roll through. One back quickly by the Trojans. Peterson pokes it through. Lands at Velasco. Nice step there by Dredge to try to win possession as it goes out of bounds. A throw-in coming up for Ogden over on the far sideline. Near the middle of the park, a throw-in here for the Tigers as Browning will play it in. Rivas giving chase. Dredge covering defensively as he'll let it roll out of bounds and out. A goal kick here for Ronan Ratchford. More substitutions coming up here for the Trojans. Connor White will head to the bench for a breather. And checking into the game, looks like that's 17, Jace Williams. Correction, number 10, Cameron Taylor into the game. Taylor with his first touch, it's a header. In the middle now for Groh. Groh gets it to Henderson. Henderson near the top of the 18, looking for options. And nicely defended there by Ogden. Ball booted away over the top. Adams comes across. Comes off of Rodriguez. And a throw in here for the Trojans. More substitutions coming up for Morgan. Henderson heading out to the bench for a breather. Sudgen also checking out. Into the game, Luke Francis returns. And the goal scorer from the semifinal, number 15, Zach Nielsen, back into the game as well. Headed away by Wilson. Another throw-in coming up here for the Trojans. Now it's Jace Williams, who plays it in behind Cameron Taylor, trying to get on the end of it. And can't connect. That ball goes out of bounds. A throw-in for the Tigers over on the far sideline. Good look, trying to find Taylor in behind that Ogden defense, but Taylor just couldn't bring the pass in. Ball back in play. Trojans back in possession. Taylor plays it back to Adams. Cody Adams now. And Zach Dredge looked to switch. Wings is now Dredge playing here on the near sideline on the Trojans' right wing. And Adams making the switch over to that left side. Peregrina here with possession for the Tigers. He'll boot it away. Dredge will head it out. Nilsson. Back to Zach Nilsson. Plays it to Dredge. Dredge up the sideline to Williams. Ball poked away by Velasco. Giving chase here is Wyrick. Comes off of Esquivel, a throw in here for the Trojans. And that switch in flanks for the Trojans is in response to Rivas come into the near sideline for the Tigers. And Rodriguez now playing off the Tigers' right side. Cody Adams marking Jace Rodriguez. Ball back in as Wilson plays it across to Jenks. Wilson again. Now Jenks. Ogden with some possession in their defensive half. Gets it up to Rodriguez. Ball poked away. Browning back to Jenks. And that ball will go out of bounds and out. A throw-in coming up here for the Morgan Trojans. Parker Groh loses possession. Velasco plays it up to Esquivel. Esquivel with a nice turn. Esquivel now with an opportunity. Here's Gerardo Esquivel taking it from distance and puts it in. Gerardo Esquivel opens the scoring, and the Tigers take a lead. Phenomenal solo effort from Gerardo Esquivel. Goal number 17 on this season for this senior. And the Ogden Tigers lead it 1-0 here at America First Field. Beautifully taken from outside of the 18. Puts it past Ronan Ratchford, and the Trojans now trailing. See how they respond as they resume play. Dredge plays it to the near sideline for Williams. Williams back in centrally for Sudgeon. One back by the Tigers. This is Lip Trap. Dredge gets it to Nilsson. Nilsson centrally to Peterson. Peterson out wide. Ogden back in possession as down goes Browning. A whistle and a foul called. Esquivel down behind the play. Back on his feet now. Free kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. Moments after taking a 1-0 lead. Velasco will boot this one up for the Tigers. Ball floated in. Ronan Ratchford off his line, collects and reads it. Ball booted away. Williams plays it back to Dredge, who gets it back to Jace Williams. Williams, Francis lets this one roll through, but nobody there as Ogden back in possession. This is Rodriguez. We'll get it back to Browning. Browning will go all the way back to Peregrina. Now booted up over the top. Cody Adams will bring it down. Adams goes to ground. The whistle and a foul will call. The goal scorer, Gerardo Esquivel, committing the foul there. Cody Adams to take for the Trojans. Chance here to whip one into the box as the free kick here just from past the center circle. Peregrina punches it away. Dredge will get it to Sudgeon. Sudgeon out wide to Adams. Adams plays it in to Francis. Heavy touch, and Browning there booting it away for the Ogden Tigers. Adams lets it bounce. Rodriguez with the header. Cody Adams now in possession for the Trojans over on that far sideline. Booted away by Carson Taylor. Takes a deflection. Ogden back in possession. Here's an opportunity with Lip Trap, who plays it to Velasco. Velasco will go out wide to Rodriguez. Rodriguez with time and space. Looking for options. Cuts inside. Gets it to Lip Trap. Lip Trap on his right. Taking it from distance. It goes over the bar and out for the goal kick. Mass substitutions coming in here for both sides. Says Gladwell back into the game for the Tigers. Jensen checking out. Henderson, Kinney, and Connor White all back into the game for the Morgan Trojans. Ball booted away by Ratchford. Ball falls down to Connor White. White goes to ground, the whistle, and a foul called. A free kick is coming up here for the Morgan Trojans. Ball booted away. Now here's Kinney. Ball comes out to Dredge. Zach Dredge again. Takes a deflection off of Rivas. As that ball goes out of bounds and out. A throw-in coming up here for the Trojans. Dredge to throw it in. Falls now to Connor White. White pokes it through. Trojans into the box. Browning is there. Browning has to clear it away, and it goes out of bounds and out. A corner kick coming up here for the Morgan Trojans. Morgan haven't had too many opportunities in the attack. They've been good in possession and good at winning some of those duels in the middle of the park, but haven't really threatened inside of the Ogden box. Opportunity here for the Morgan Trojans as that ball's whipped in near post. The header, and it goes over and out. That was Carson Taylor who tried to flick that one through, but got too much under it as it goes over and out for the goal kick. .34 left to go here in the first half. The Tigers lead it 1-0. The defending champions up thanks to Gerardo Esquivel goal. And again, we'll see if the Trojans here in the final 10 minutes of this first half can be a little more threatening inside of that Ogden box. Connor White will let this one bounce, brings it in, and the whistle and a foul called. Wilson whistled for the foul, and a free kick for the Trojans. Another opportunity to whip one into the box. Try to create some chaos as Cody Adams comes over to take. Only one on the wall for the Tigers. Adams will float one in, goes far back post, and Peregrina off his line, collects and reads it well. This ball whipped in by Cody Adams, but Peregrina there to collect. Trojans boot this one away. Francis trying to bring it down. Headed, flick through. One back by the Tigers as Cody Adams trying to make the defensive challenge. Now here comes the Tigers on the attack with Gladwell. Gladwell, step over, gets it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez crosses it into the box. Carson Taylor there to boot it away. And now Adams clears it. Jenks trying to let that one roll out of bounds. Now does, as Jenks will throw it in. Gets it in quickly to his goalkeeper, Peregrina. He'll boot it away. Bounces over Esquivel, giving chase here is Wyrick, who will shield it off for Ronan Ratchford to come off his line and collect. Ball booted away by Ratchford. Wyrick takes a deflection. Esquivel floated in, now into the box, and cleared away by Wyrick, only to find Rodriguez. Rodriguez pokes it through. Velasco inside. Velasco can't get the shot off. Cleared away by Carson Taylor, who tries to hype up his side. Ogden with another big opportunity, and Carson Taylor meets it well. Corner kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers, an opportunity to double the lead as we approach the final 7 minutes of this first half. Rodriguez will whip it in, goes back post. Ratchford off his line, headed through, and can't be put on frame. It goes out of bounds and out for the goal kick. Substitution here for the Tigers as Jensen checking back in. Gabe Liptrap will step off for a breather. Ratchford to boot it away. Rivas there with the header. As it goes out of bounds and out, a throw-in again for the Trojans. Ball in play as Kinney brings it down. Late whistle and a foul called. So we'll go against the Tigers, and now an opportunity here for the Trojans to get into the attacking third. Ball whipped in by the Trojans. Into the box. Cleared away by Ardema. Trojans still on the attack. That ball played out wide. Adams giving chase. Adams can't get onto the end of it. And it'll go out of bounds and out for the Tiger throw-in over on the far sideline. Matt Browning to take. Goes out of bounds once more. The throw-in now for Morgan over on the far sideline. Connor White. Out of bounds once more. Another throw-in, this time for Ogden. Matt Browning to throw it in. Centrally towards Jensen. Jensen brings it down, gets it to Rivas. Rivas trying to find the goal scorer, Esquivel, who goes down. Tough challenge there from Taylor, but a good challenge defensively. Cleared it momentarily. The Tigers still in possession here with Rodriguez. Rodriguez up the sideline, gets around Adams. The cross comes in. Adams is there to poke it away at the last second. Takes deflection off of Cody Adams. Out of bounds and out. A corner kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. Prior to, with substitutions coming in, as Francisco Rivas will head to the bench for a breather, checking into the game. And so will Jace Rodriguez as he checks out. Checking into the game here is two Tigers as that ball's whipped in, goes near post, in front of goal and cleared away by the Trojans. Henderson trying to save that one from going out, but the whistle and a foul called, a throw-in coming up here, for the Morgan Trojans. One of the substitutions for the Tigers was Eli Peterson, as now he's into the game. And the other one being Seth Marburger, who's in for the Tigers. That ball nicely defended there by Matt Browning, who clears this one away. Throw in for the Trojans with 3:35 left to go here in the first half. Francis goes out wide. An opportunity for the Trojans. Cody Adams gets around his defender. The cross comes in, goes near post, deflected off of Jenks, and cleared away by Matt Browning. Another throw-in coming up for the Trojans over on that far sideline. Nice recovery there from Browning, denying the corner, clearing it out for the throw. Ball brought in by the Trojans, cleared away by Ogden. Taylor with the header, lands at Esquivel. Cuts it back to his right. Opportunity here for the Tigers, hitting on the counterattack. That ball to Gladwell, poked away by Sudgeon as it goes out of bounds and out. A throw-in coming up for Ogden on the far sideline. Substitutions prior to. As Marburger back to the bench, back in is Francisco Rivas. Booted away by Wyrick. White brings it in for the Trojans. Plays it centrally, but nobody there as Jenks winning it back. Connor White coming across with a defensive challenge. Almost steals it away. Ogden able to retain possession. Browning plays it centrally to the center circle. Nobody there but Zach Nilsson back in possession for the Trojans. Henderson gets around one. Plays it back. Supports himself with Dredge. Dredge floats one in over the top into the 18 and into the hands of Xavier Peregrina. Plays it out quickly to his right as now Browning running up that far sideline. Gets it to Rivas. Rivas leaves it for Gladwell. Gladwell up the sideline. Back in centrally for Rivas. Defended well and won back by Kinney. Kinney will play it towards the center circle to Francis, who plays it back to Nilsson. Now Henderson, who will go all the way back to his center back in Wyrick. Wyrick will play it over the top. Giving chase here is Connor White. Coming across defensively with the header is Wilson as it goes out of bounds and out for the Trojans throw-in. A minute left to go here in the first half. Ogden up 1-0. Thanks to a goal from Gerardo Esquivel, the Trojans here on the attack in the final seconds. Francis with the volley! Oh, and that's a golazo! How about Luke Francis to tie it up? Seconds before the end of the first half, 47 left on the clock. And Francis picking out cobwebs in the top corner with the volley. The Trojans tie it up 1-1. Goal number 16 on the season for Luke Francis. And a huge goal for the Trojans to tie it up right before the end of the first half. 39 seconds on the clock. We resume play. Big response from Morgan. Francis, the goal scorer on the sideline, losing out possession. Jensen in to Rivas. Rivas up the sideline, now centrally to Gladwell with 23 seconds left. Tries to play it back across to Ardema. One back by Henderson. Henderson, defended by 3, tries to poke it through to Nilsson. White winning possession. Here's Henderson, the countdown at America First Field. Zach Nilsson plays it into Francis. Nilsson now back in possession for the Trojans. And that will do it here for the first half. A huge goal for the Morgan Trojans to tie it up right before the end of the first half as we head to the break, all tied up at 1-1. Thanks to a long-distance effort from Gerardo Esquivel to put the Tigers up 1-0. And then a beautiful volley from Luke Francis seconds before the halftime whistle. And we head to the break 1-1 here on TeamHive.live, powered by Centricom, here on KSLSports.com. Don't go anywhere. Second half action when we return.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
My parents know nothing about gaming. I told them we needed Centricom Fiber because it's by far the fastest and most reliable internet speeds.
Hey bud, dinner's ready. Time to turn off the game box.
Alright, this round's almost over.
These days, kids do a lot of their homework online. They talk to their teachers, they receive assignments, and they do research, all from our kitchen table. That's why I chose Centricom Fiber Internet. They have the fastest and most reliable connection, so my kids can stay on top of their schoolwork.
I'm Dr. Brandon Beck, and I'm one of the general surgeons at Central Valley Medical Center. One of the best parts of my job as a general surgeon is to interact with a wide variety of people. And many of those people have experienced chronic conditions or painful things for many years. and there is nothing better than helping them to work through those conditions and to have an improved quality of life. I'm happy to be back in Utah at Central Valley Medical Center serving the people in our community.
For more than 3 decades, the Intermountain Power Project has served as a model of regional energy cooperation, generating and transmitting coal-fueled electricity to a diverse group of municipal utilities and rural electric cooperatives with operations across 6 U.S. states. Now, Intermountain Power is expanding its role as a regional energy hub, including utilizing renewable energy resources. Intermountain Power is proud to support and invest in our central Utah communities. Visit ipautah.com to learn more about IPP Renewed. Jones and DeMille Engineering was founded with a simple mission to shape the quality of life with a personalized touch. As a full-service civil engineering firm, they provide value beyond the project, creating places where people live, work, and thrive. For over 40 years, they've proudly served our communities, enhancing lives through their work. Join their team and become a dedicated community improvement leader. Whether you're an engineer or just love infrastructure, they invite you to seek a career with them. Jones and DeMille Engineering, shaping the quality of life.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
Riverton Chevy is more than just a dealership. For over 103 years, our family has proudly served this community because Utah is our home. Through our Everyday Champions program, we celebrate those who make our community stronger. Military, teachers, and first responders, our local champions never pay for oil changes with the purchase of a new vehicle. Thank you for making Riverton Chevy your dealership for over a century. Visit us today in South Jordan. or online at rivertonchevy.com. Still the Chevyweight champion.
Sanpete Steel in Moroni was founded in 1994 and is one of the major steel construction companies in the Intermountain West. Specializing in structural steel fabrication and assembly, Sanpete Steel's impressive portfolio includes the Hales Theater in Sandy and structures on the campuses of the University of Utah, BYU, and UVU. Sanpete Steel in Moroni, where their motto is done right and on time, at 685 East Main Street. Call today at 800-261-1026. That's 800-261-1026. Or go to sanpetesteel.com.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
Marijuana has a lot of names, and even more opinions about it. It's a gray area. And even though we don't know everything about it, we do know that the adolescent brain is still under construction until early adulthood. A developing brain's gray matter, the stuff that lets kids think, analyze, and create, can be impacted by misusing cannabis at a young age. So talk to your kids. Let them know that gray matters.
To learn more, visit graymatters.utah.gov.
Jorgensen's Power Sports is your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor adventure needs. We carry a wide variety of ATVs, UTVs, RVs, firearms, outdoor accessories, and much more. Complete with both a service and warranty department. Check us out online at www.jhsport.com or give us a call at 435-896-6408.
Vince Lombardi once said, "The measure of who we are is what we do with what we have." The quote rings true whether applied to our country, our schools, our homes, or on the field of play. We applaud our student athletes for their hard work and determination on the field and in the classroom. Brought to you by Sunrise Engineering, promoting excellence in sports and education. Visit us at sunrise-eng.com. That's sunrise-eng.com.
Your car carries you and those you love through the days and years. It deserves the best care you can give it. At Burt Brothers, we can help with that. We've been doing it better than anyone else since 1991, and we'll keep doing it to get you through all the important moments on life's roads. Because cars are more than how we get from here to there, they're how we get from there to here. Find your nearest store and discover special offers at burtbrothers.com.
And want to welcome you back into America First Field, the host site today for the 3A, 2A state championship games. It's the Ogden Tigers and the Morgan Trojans taking each other on for the 3A championship. And what a first half we had between these two sides. It was the Tigers who opened up the scoring with a goal from Gerardo Esquivel, a long-distance effort from just outside the box to sneak it past Ronan Ratchford for the opening goal. And then in the dying seconds of the first half, Morgan with a cross into the box. Luke Francis with a volley to the top bin, the top corner, to tie it up at 1-1. Heading into the break, we get ready to start second half action. Both teams taking the field as we're 40 minutes away or more from deciding the 3A state champion. It is the Ogden Tigers in their black. They'll be going to the right of the screen here to start the second half, and it is the Morgan Trojans in the white, and they'll be going to the left. Both teams back onto the field as we get the final preparations ready to start second half action. The whistle, and we're underway. Throwing for the Trojans over on that far sideline. Ball back in play with Morgan. Henderson tried to get on the end of that one. Instead, it'll roll out of bounds and out. A throw-in coming up for the Tigers as Matt Browning will throw it in. Dredge boots one in over the top. Ball lands at Henderson. Henderson goes back to Dredge. Dredge plays it to Sudgeon. Sudgeon now to Henderson. Back to Sudgeon. Jenks winning it back for the Tigers. And stepping up there defensively was Carson Taylor as that ball goes out of bounds. A throw-in coming up for the Tigers here on the near sideline. Browning. Down goes Esquivel. The whistle and a foul called. A free kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. Velasco standing over it to take. Wilson coming over. And he'll leave it for Velasco. Everybody lined up near the top of the 18 for the Tigers. 2 on the wall for the Trojans. As that ball whipped in. Ratchford off his line. Bats it up. Brings it in. The whistle. And no, we'll play advantage. Good read there by Ratchford to come off his line and collect. And now here comes the Trojans down the other way. Booted away by Ardema. Giving chase here is Nielsen. Zach Nielsen. Brought down. As that ball goes out of bounds, coming off the Ogden Tigers. A throw-in for Morgan over on that far sideline. Connor White brings it in. White. Can't keep that one from going out of bounds. A throw-in now for the Ogden. Going the other way. Sudgeon plays it to White. White tries to get it out wide to Henderson. Henderson giving chase. Henderson plays it back to White. White tried to cross it in. Takes a deflection as it goes out of bounds. And a throw-in coming up here for the Trojans as Dredge will throw it in. Kinney lets it bounce. And that one defended well by the Tigers as it goes out of bounds. A goal kick coming up here for Peregrina to boot this one away. Sudgeon with the header. White giving chase. Wilson will go back to Peregrina, who collects. Booted away by the senior goalkeeper. Back into the attacking third. The Trojans. But the whistle and the offside flag raised. Ball's coming back to the Ogden Tigers here with the free kick. Peregrina plays it across to Wilson. Browning on the sideline for the Tigers in possession. Gets it to Wilson. Wilson gets it back on the sideline to Browning. Browning now running up the sideline. Henderson defending. Nilsson coming across too. Henderson with the sliding tackle. Gets that ball away. It goes out of bounds and out. A throw-in coming up for the Ogden Tigers. Nice defensive play there by Henderson. Jenks to throw it in for Ogden. Ball comes in to Esquivel, the goal scorer, who takes a shot, defended and deflected, and Jensen with the second chance opportunity there, but it goes straight into the hands of Ratchford, who comes up with the save. Giving chase here is Jensen. Ogden back in possession with Browning. Browning will go back to Wilson. Wilson to his keeper in Peregrina, who boots this one up and away. Brought down by Rodriguez, who leaves it to Gladwell. Gladwell centrally to Liptrap. Liptrap now looking for options. Leaves it for Velasco. Heavy touch. One back by the Trojans. This is White. Plays it to Kinney. Kinney teeing it up from distance and safely into the hands of Xavier Peregrina. Lip trap here for Ogden. Now wide towards Jenks. Trying to get around Dredge. Dredge with a huge defensive effort there for the Trojans to deny the Tigers quickly going the other way. Wilson will play it over the top. Carson Taylor with the defensive effort. Now ball lands at Luke Francis, the goal scorer for the Trojans. He'll play it back to Sudgen. Sudgen plays it across to Nilsson. Nilsson towards the sideline to Henderson. Henderson defended by Browning. Henderson gets it on his left into the box. Browning with a nice step, and Browning winning it back for the Tigers. Boots this one away. Out of bounds and out here on the near sideline for the throw-in. Sudgen to throw it in. Or excuse me, that was Dredge. Now Sudgen in possession. Sudgen will play it across to Francis. Francis trying to find Nielsen. Nice step by Velasco to win it back. And now Ogden trying to hit on a quick counterattack. Can't connect, and that one will roll to Wyrick, who boots this one away over the top. Gladwell will let it roll out of bounds. A throw-in coming up now for the Tigers on the far sideline. Gladwell to throw it in. Whistle and a foul will call. The free kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. 32-20 left to go here in the first half. All tied up at 1-1. Couple of good chances for both sides getting forward here in the first half, but still looking for that big opportunity from either side. This could be it here for Ogden. Cleared away by Morgan. Lip trap bringing it in. Tries it from distance. Deflected off of Sudgen. As it goes out of bounds and out. A throw-in coming up for the Tigers. Wilson throwing it in. Now here's Kinney. That ball goes out of bounds and out. A throw-in coming up for the Trojans. Prior to, looks like the center ref heading over to his fourth official to have a conversation. We'll have a stoppage in play here with 31-12. Throw-in coming up here for the Trojans. Ball will roll safely back into the hands of Peregrina for the Ogden Tigers. Peregrina gets it to Wilson. Wilson looking for options towards the sideline for Browning. Instead, it goes out of bounds and out. A throw-in coming up here for the Morgan Trojans. Jace Williams to throw it in. Cleared away once more by the Tigers. Williams with the header, flicks it through to Nilsson. Nilsson brings it down. Flag raised, the whistle, and a foul called against Jace Williams. And a free kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. Luis Velasco to take the free kick for Ogden. ball booted in over the top. Wyrick gets a knee on it, clears it away. Nilsson floats one in over the top, giving chase is White. Peregrina off his line, heads it away. This little sweeper keeper there from Xavier Peregrina, heading it away, and Morgan still on the attack. Tried to get it to Nilsson, but Nilsson held his run. Throw in for the Tigers. Wyrick will head it away. A lip trap into Jensen. Jensen can't bring it in. One back by Sudgen. Sudgen plays it to Francis. Francis in the center circle. Gets it to Nilsson. Nilsson back to Sudgen. Trojans here in possession. This is Zach Nilsson. Nilsson plays it to Williams. Williams back into Sudgen. The captain out wide, trying to get it to Kinney. One back by the Tigers. This is Rodriguez. Up the sideline to Gladwell, who gives chase. Gladwell, slide tackle and a challenge. Beautifully won back by Kinney. And the Trojans back in possession. Ball comes to the goal scorer, Francis. Now here's Sudgen. Sudgen gets it to Adams. Adams back to Sudgen. Trojans here controlling possession. Ogden haven't had too much of the ball here in the last 5 minutes or so. Can the Trojans use this possession to create some dangerous opportunities? That ball booted away by Browning, and another throw-in coming up for Morgan. Throw in here for the Trojans as Zach Dredge will throw it in. Sudgen brings it down. Sudgen plays it to White. White now to Nilsson. Nilsson to Williams. Williams on the sideline looking for support. And Browning comes across, pokes it away, out of bounds and out. A throw in coming up for the Trojans here in the attacking third. Williams to throw it in. Dredge. Out of bounds once more. Throw in now again for Morgan. Taken quickly. Plays it into Sudgen. Lip trap. Gets a foot on it. Deflected. And one back by the Tigers. Here's Ogden quickly going down the other way. Rodriguez goes down. The whistle and a foul called. A yellow card caution has been issued to the goal scorer. Or excuse me, to Cody Williams. Yellow card to Cody Williams, the first yellow brandished here in this championship game, and it goes to the Trojans. You'll have to sub off momentarily with the yellow card. Substitutions here for both sides as well. Into the game, Wyatt Sessions for the Trojans, number 23, checking in for Cody Adams. Rodriguez gets around Sessions. Now defended by Nilsson. Goes to ground, the whistle, and a foul call, the free kick, and it's coming the other way. Free kick here for the Morgan Trojans as Wyrick will boot this one up and away. Sessions just boots this one up and away. Lands to Williams. Header flicked through, trying to find White. This is Gladwell. Gladwell plays it to Esquivel. Esquivel back to Gladwell. Defended and cleared away there by Dredge. Now Velasco whips it into the box, headed away by Taylor. Giving chase here is Nielsen. Nielsen brings it in for the Trojans. They can hit on a counter-attack here as that ball's played centrally to Peterson. Peterson tries to play it in over the top, and the header flicked through. And it'll go safely back into the hands of Peregrina. Ball played out by the Trojans. Booted away. Esquivel now in possession, plays it out wide to Velasco. Velasco giving chase and stops it at the corner flag. This is Velasco, gets past Peterson, up the end line, cross comes in, and cleared away by the Trojans, only to find Ardema. Ardema plays it centrally to Gladwell. Gladwell now to Liptrap, takes a deflection, bound down to Velasco, who takes the shot and puts it over the bar and out. Good look there for the Tigers as Velasco taking advantage of that ball that just landed to him there near the top of the 18. Takes the shot, but just gets too much under it. It goes over the bar and out for the goal kick. Substitutions coming in for both sides. Jensen back into the game. He'll check in for Gabe Liptrap. And then Trace Henderson back in. He'll check in for Jace Williams. Also back in, Cody Adams for the Trojans. Nielsen and Gladwell battling out for possession. Ball lands at Rodriguez, and Rodriguez for the Tigers. Can't get past his mark. Nielsen up the sideline. Cross comes in safely into the hands of Xavier Peregrina. Peregrina will boot this one away, gets caught by the wind, lands near the center circle, headed away by the Trojans. Connor White goes to ground. Wilson there defensively to clear it away. Jenks takes it to the sideline. Jenks defended by Sugden. Jenks, and that ball poked away by Sugden. Out of bounds and out. A throw-in coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. Matt Browning to throw it in for Ogden in the attacking third. Ball now into the box and cleared away by the Trojans. Connor White brings it in. The Trojans here with an opportunity to hit on a quick counter. Williams trying to get it out to Henderson, who gives chase. Gonzalez comes across. And that ball goes out of bounds and out. A throw in once more, this time for the Trojans. Substitutions prior to. As Taylor checking into the game, as well as Parker Groh back in. Off comes Connor White and Sam Sugden. Throw in here on the near sideline for the Trojans. It'll be Cash Peterson to take. Peterson gets it in centrally for Nielsen, who brings it down. Cuts back. One back by the Tigers. Here's Velasco, who plays it over the top. Ratchford off his line, heads it away. And cleared away. The whistle and a foul called as Gladwell came in and took down Carson Taylor, clearing that one away. Free kick coming up for the Trojans and an opportunity here to boot this one up. With 21:25 left to go here in the second half, we're still tied up at 1-1. That ball played in over the top, into the box. The poke through there, but the back post by Jace Williams, but couldn't put it on frame. Somehow, Jace Williams found himself completely unmarked in behind the Ogden defense, but Williams couldn't put the shot on frame. Just got a little bit out of his reach, got a finger or a toe tip on it as it went wide of the post. Throw in now for the Tigers over on that far sideline. Esquivel lets it bounce. Cleared away by Adams. Only to find the Tigers as they get possession back. Jensen plays it out wide to Rodriguez. Rodriguez against against Adams. Adams goes to ground. Rodriguez keeps possession. Into the box. Played across. Jenks is there. Lets it slide. And cleared away by the Trojans. Jenks thought he had a runner coming in behind him. Left the ball roll through instead of trying to take a shot there, completely unmarked at the top of the 18. And now a free kick coming up for the Morgan Trojans near the middle of the park. Still tied up. That one apiece. Free kick again here for the Trojans. Cody Adams to take. Adams will whip this into the box. Williams is there off the post and into the hands of Peregrina. Somehow that got redirected through traffic. And I think Peregrina thought it was going out of bounds. Instead, it comes crashing off the inside of his post and safely into his hands. A little bit of luck there for the Ogden Tigers as they keep this one at 1-1. Velasco now to take a free kick here for the Tigers. Just at the center circle. Velasco will whip it in. Cleared away by the Trojans. Parker Groh. Ball given away. Here's Gladwell. Gladwell goes down. The whistle and a foul called. A free kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers in a dangerous spot. Parley Gladwell. Oh, he'll leave it as Velasco heads over to take. 2 on the wall for the Trojans. And everybody lined up at the top of the 18. 5 players, 6 now for the Tigers. Just outside the box. Everybody at the back post. Velasco will whip it in. He'll go near post. Runners inside the box. As that one will skim through and out for the goal kick. Substitution coming up here for the Trojans as Zach Nilsson will head to the bench for a breather. Back into the game is the captain, Sugden, for the Trojans. Ratchford will play his goal kick short. We'll leave it for Wyrick. Wyrick will go back to Ratchford. And now Ratchford will boot it away. Velasco there with a header near the middle of the park. Back in possession, here's the Trojans with Wyrick, who boots this one up and away. Henderson trying to bring it down. Giving chase here is Cash Peterson. Peterson over the top. Cleared away by Gonzalez. Now Sugden. Sugden goes out wide to Williams. Williams back to Adams. Adams plays it back up the sideline to Williams. Williams looking for options. Back up the sideline to Cody Adams, who's running. Over on that far sideline, it's Adams. Cuts back, crosses it into the box, and nobody there but Matt Browning to clear it away. Velasco heads it out. One back by the Trojans. The shot from distance, and it goes over the bar and out. Good look there from Cody Adams, who tried the volley from distance, couldn't put it on frame. It goes out of bounds, and now a goal kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers with 16:08 left to go. Still tied up at 1-1 thanks to goals from Gerardo Esquivel and Luke Francis for the Trojans. Tied it up. Cash Peterson. Peterson from distance, and that one over the bar and out as well. Trying to pick out Peregrina's top corner. And instead, Ogden here will take the goal kick. Substitution coming up here for the Trojans. Connor White back into the game. Off comes Jace Williams. So with 15 minutes left to go here in the first, want to remind you that if this one is still 1-1 at the end of regulation, we'll go to an overtime period of 10 minutes where the golden goal rule applies. Ball played into Peterson. Peterson, nice little heel there to Henderson. Back looking for Peterson. Browning is there, clears it away. Trojans trying to retain possession with with Cameron Taylor. Now here's Adams. Plays it back to Peterson. Takes a deflection. Parker Groh gets it to Cody Adams. Adams now to Henderson. Henderson trying to play it back to Adams. Adams now near the top of the 18. Trying to take it into the box. Comes off of Gonzalez. And it goes out of bounds, and now a corner kick coming up here for the Morgan Trojans. And a set-piece opportunity as they look to take a lead. Cash Peterson will take the corner for the Trojans prior to substitution as Parker Groh will head back to the bench for a breather. Checking into the game is going to be number 12, Brody Kinney for the Trojans. Two hands in the air for Peterson as he'll look to whip this into the box. Ball goes back post. Peregrina off his line, spills it, and the whistle and a foul called. Foul committed here against Peregrina. And a free kick for the Tigers. Opportunity to clear this one away. Ball booted up by Peregrina. One back by the Trojans. Here's Peterson who brings it in, gets it to Kinney. Kinney plays it out wide to Dredge. Dredge looking for options. Plays it centrally to Sugden. Now Adams. White tries to play it out to the sideline for Cameron Taylor. Instead, Cam Taylor goes across, commits the foul, and it's a free kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. Take this time to remind you that following the conclusion of this one, we're not done. We have another game coming up next. 2 o'clock kickoff for the 2A state championship game. Mazer Prep will be taking on the American Heritage Patriots. And both teams in that 2A state championship game will be looking for their first boys soccer state championship. We'll have a new boys soccer state championship in 2A. But still plenty of time here in 3A to decide the winner. Again, that's a 2 o'clock kickoff here on TeamHive.live, on KSLSports.com. And we'll have all the action for you in the 2A state championship game. That ball goes out to Connor White. White plays it out to Taylor. Taylor whips it in, goes back post. And now here is Adams. That ball out of bounds and out. A throw-in coming up for the Trojans as they'll look to keep possession here in the attacking third. Taylor checking out for the Trojans. Checking into the game will be the goal scorer, Luke Francis. Substitution for the Tigers as well as Gladwell will head to the bench for a breather. Checking back into the game is number 6, Gabe Liptrap. Peterson will throw it in. Liptrap wins it. Liptrap plays it up to Esquivel, who brings it in. Esquivel taking it from distance, trying to catch Ratchford. High off his line, trying to play it over the top, but just didn't hit it cleanly And that one not on frame. It goes out of bounds and out. A goal kick here for the Trojans. They'll take it quick. Sugden will play it over the top. White giving chase. Out of bounds and out. A throw in now coming up here for the Tigers in their own defensive half. Played in quick to Peregrina, who goes back across to Wilson. Wilson up the sideline for Ardema. Now here comes the Tigers on the attack with Rivas. Rivas plays it in centrally. Cut out by Peterson. Ball played in over the top. Wilson is there. Wilson pressured by White. One back by the Trojans. Here comes an opportunity over the top to Francis. Francis versus two. Rivas and Ardema. And defense prevails as Gonzalez boots it away for the Tigers. Morgan back in possession quickly. Here's Peterson in the center circle. Plays it to Kinney. Kinney tries to get it out wide to the near sideline for Dredge. As it goes out of bounds and out, a throw in now for the Tigers. Ball comes into Velasco, poked away. Here's Henderson, who plays it into Peterson. Peterson goes down. The whistle and a foul will called. We'll have a stoppage in play as Gonzalez is issued the yellow card caution. Yellow card to Gonzalez, the second of the morning, and it's first one for the Tigers. Gonzalez will head to the bench with the yellow card, and checking into the game is number 17, Jace Rodriguez. Free kick for Morgan here in a dangerous spot. Four Trojans now lined up at the top of the 18. 3 on the wall for the Tigers as Peregrina will line up his wall at his near post. Now 4 on the wall for the Tigers. Velasco joins. Sugden and Peterson standing over the ball to take. .9:32 left to go here in the second half. The whistle. Sugden will leave it for Peterson, who takes the shot, deflected off the wall. Comes off of Gabe Liptrap. Liptrap and Jensen riling up the home crowd, the designated home crowd. Trojans still on the attack with Peterson, who plays it in. Browning goes down, advantage played. Here's Jenks. Jenks in possession. Has options. Looks to play it in over the top to Rodriguez. Giving chase, can't connect. That one goes out of bounds and out for the goal kick, or excuse me, for the throw-in. This is Sugden, who gets it to Henderson. Henderson loses out possession. Heavy touch to Jensen. Jensen now trying to find Rivas, cut out by the Trojans. This is White, who turns, gets it to Francis. Coming across is Wilson, using some physicality there with the defensive challenge. Here's Rivas for the Tigers. Takes a deflection off of Luke Francis. As that goes out of bounds and out, the throw-in coming up for the Tigers over on the far sideline. Ball in play here with Esquivel, who brings it down. The goal scorer whips it into the box. Taylor is there, who boots this one up and away. Francis lets it bounce. Ardema will throw it in. Comes off of Dredge. It goes out of bounds. Throw in again for the Tigers. Ball comes into Velasco inside the box. Poked away by Sugden. And a corner kick coming up here for the Tigers, with time beginning to wind down here in the second half. Ball comes in, takes a deflection off of Rivas. Francis now tracking it down for the Trojans, and here comes Morgan on a quick counterattack. Nicely defended there by Jenks. That ball will bounce out of bounds and out here on the near sideline. The throw-in coming up for the Tigers as Matt Browning will throw it in. Browning gets this ball in. Taylor clears it away. Henderson now in possession for the Trojans. Sugden plays it to White. White centrally to Kinney. Kinney trying to get it back out to White. White giving chase. And that one will just go out of bounds and out. A goal kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. Substitution coming up too for the Trojan. Cash Peterson checking out for the breather. Zach Nielsen back into the game. Ball back in play. Wilson heads it away. A shot from distance from Francis. Can't put it on frame. It goes out of bounds and out for the goal kick. Ball comes down to White for the Trojans. Gets it in centrally to Kinney. Kinney to White. White can't get around Rivas. Ogden now trying to hit on a quick counterattack with Esquivel. Esquivel looking to get it back to Rivas. Ball floated in over the top. Ratchford off his line. Rodriguez there with the header. And the whistle and a penalty. Foul committed. And a penalty kick coming up for the Ogden Tigers with 5:08 left to go. Huge opportunity here for Ogden to take a lead late in the second half. Rodriguez goes down inside the box. And Rodriguez will step up to take for the Ogden Tigers. It's Rodriguez against Ratchford. Huge moment here in the dying moments of the 3A state championship game. Rodriguez versus Ratchford from 12 yards out. Rodriguez steps up, the shot, saved by Ratchford, and Rodriguez on the rebound puts it in! Goal for the Tigers! The defending state champions. The rebound off the penalty from Chase Rodriguez. And Ogden lead it 2-1. And Rodriguez coming to the near sideline to hype up his crowd. 5:04 left to go. Do the Trojans have a response? Conversations being had by the center of the fourth and his assistant over on that far sideline prior to the resumption of this game. Still conversations being had. It looks like the penalty will stand. The goal will stand. As we resume action here at America First. How will the Trojans respond with limited time left? Jace Rodriguez, the hero as of now. Ogden up 2-1. 4:50 left to go. The Trojans See if there's an equalizer in them. That ball whipped in and safely into the hands of Peregrina. And Ogden happy here to just watch the clock wind down as that ball's booted away by Peregrina. Sudgden with the header. Nicely done by Esquivel to keep possession. Now cleared away by the Trojans. Kinney trying to bring it down. He'll go back to Carson Taylor. Taylor misses the ball. He'll go back to Ratchford, his goalkeeper. Ratchford plays it to Wyrick. Wyrick goes out wide to Dredge. Now back to Wyrick. Crosses the center circle. Now here comes a ball whipped in. Peregrina comes out, punches it away. Kinney tracking it down for the Trojans, booted away by Velasco. All 11 players for the Ogden Tigers behind the ball. Everybody defending now. 3:35 left to go. The Trojans here in possession. This is White who plays it to Kinney. Losing out possession as Esquivel boots it away. Ratchford giving chase. Plays it centrally. Now back to Wyrick. Wyrick will play it to Dredge. Dredge to White. Not a single black shirt in front of the ball. Everybody's behind the ball defending. Francis to Dredge. Dredge plays it to Kinney. Kinney to Wyrick. Wyrick goes out wide to Sudgden. Sudgden looks to float one in. Goes back post. Peregrina off his line, punches it away. Still an opportunity here for the Trojans. That ball whipped in by Connor White. And it goes out of bounds and out. The goal kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. Substitution here for the Tigers as well. Gladwell checking back into the game. Gabe Liptrap coming off. .238 left to go. Peregrina here with the goal kick. Tigers looking for their opportunity to boot this one up and away. Watch some of that clock wind down. This is Gladwell, goes down. Esquivel now playing it over the top. Rivas in behind. Rivas bringing it down. Rivas cuts into his right, plays it centrally. Gladwell taking a shot from distance. Can't put it on frame. It goes out of bounds and out. A goal kick coming up here for the Trojans. And he'll play it to Adams. Adams with time and space. Goes centrally. Adams now near the middle of the park. Gets it to White. White tries to find Francis. That ball booted away by Ardema. Quickly the throw in here for the Trojans. It's Wyrick. Or excuse me, that's Dredge. Everybody up for the Morgan Trojans now. This is White. Up the sideline, looking for options. Nicely defended by Gladwell, cuts inside. Cleared away by Ardema again. Another throw-in coming up here for the Morgan Trojans with 1:20 left to go. Ardema will let that one roll out of bounds and out. A goal kick coming up here for the Ogden Tigers. Peregrina can boot this one away. .60 seconds left to go here in the second half. A Jace Rodriguez goal right now is the difference. Ogden just trying to hold on. Henderson plays it to Adams. Adams centrally to Kinney. Kinney floats one in and booted away by the Tigers. Dredge tracks it down. Plays it to White. 30 seconds left. Back to White. White floats one into the box, headed away, lands at Henderson. Henderson goes down. The Ogden Ogden Tigers here can clear it away. Velasco in possession, boots it up over the top. Back to Ratchford, 15 seconds left. Ratchford has to get it away quick, does. Only to find Tigers. Ball filtered through, cleared away by Ogden. The countdown at America first. With 3, with 2, with 1, and that will do it! How about back-to-back state champions for the Ogden Tigers? Doing it last year against the Manti Templars. Doing it this year against the Morgan Trojans. And Ogden can now claim state championship number 5 in boys soccer. A goal from Gerardo Esquivel to put the Tigers up 1-0 early in the first half. The equalizer from Francis with seconds left in the first half made it 1-1. And then a late penalty kick saved by Ratchford, but the rebound put in by Jace Rodriguez for the winner for the Ogden Tiger Championship. We'll keep it here as we prepare for the trophy presentation for the Morgan Trojans under first-year head coach Jesse Henderson. Doing a phenomenal job this season. They started off the year 1-5. Just the one win in non-region play. They were able to bounce back and tie for second place in Region 13 play with a 7-3 record. Got the 6th seed and made it all the way here to the championship game. But the first boys soccer championship for the Morgan Trojans will have to wait just a little bit longer as they'll face heartbreak here at America First Field. So close for number 1. Stellar performances all around for both sides. Ratchford having to come up, make some big saves for the Trojans. Trace Henderson also playing a phenomenal game. Luke Francis, of course, the goal scorer for the Trojans. Xavier Beneglina coming up big for the Ogden Tigers again. Velasco also having a phenomenal game. Rodriguez and Esquivel, the goal scorers. And defensively, Adam Jenks doing a phenomenal job throughout the course of the 80 minutes. Getting ready here to present some silverware as the Ogden Tigers heading over to their near sideline to celebrate. Student section getting involved, fans getting involved. Turn our attention over here to the Morgan Trojans as they'll be presented first with the runner-up trophy. Again, absolutely nothing there to hang your head down for the Morgan Trojans. As a 6th seed, making it all the way to the state championship game as they hold up that state runner-up trophy. And now here comes the Ogden Tigers. They head to the near sideline, and there it is! Back to back they go, the Ogden Tigers. State championship number 5. And they are your 3A state champions. And that's going to do it for us here on TeamHive.life, powered by Centricom on KSLSports.com. I'm Alex Napolis. A big shout out to Joe on the camera. And don't go anywhere, because when we return, we'll have two-way action coming your way as the Mazer Prep Lions get ready to take on the American Heritage Patriots for the two-way state championship game. That's coming up next here on KSLSports.com.